In this video, I'm going to review some very basic visual training that anybody with eyes should use. If you're spending a lot of time in front of a computer, that's something that is very close to you, and we're not necessarily designed to, number one, look at something very close for long periods of time, but also to look at something that's casting, large amounts of light into our eyes. Even with our screens down on the low dim mode or the monitor on dim, it's still going to be sending in a lot of information to our sensory system, and ultimately our eyes are pulling in the most sensory information out of any other system we have in our body. So I just want to review a couple of very simple drills that we can do to take a little mini holiday from the computer work that maybe you're spending most of your day doing. So how do we want to format this? Pretty simple. Some words of advice that someone far smarter than me said: every 20 minutes, do 2 minutes of visual training. So we can definitely play around with that, and it all kind of depends where you're starting from. But a good place to begin, if you've never done any visual training, or at least specific visual training, is done seated in a chair. Surprise, surprise, most people sit all day at their desk, or they have a standing desk or some variation, so you're already halfway there. I'm also holding a very expensive tool called a pen. You can use a pencil, you can use almost anything, you just have to be able to focus on it. I like a pen because it has a pointy side and a non-pointy side. It's going to be more threatening looking at the pointy side versus the non-pointy side. So go ahead and practice this drill both fashions and find out what's best for you. If you think that you're causing a little bit of too much stress for your body using the pointy side, then flip it around. It really depends on how you feel during the moment. And if you can't tell whether it's stressful or not, then don't worry about it. Just have some fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit nice and tall, lifting the crown of the head up and allowing everything to melt off our body: face, shoulders, and belly. If you've been practicing some of the cerebellum training and you've identified that the right side is a bit different than the left side, or at least that's the side you've been training, this is the hand that I want you to use, okay? Your right hand. Essentially, when we practice coordinated movements, we can actually send that signal to the cerebellum. So not only are we doing visual training, but we're also doing cerebellar training. In fact, anytime you do any brain training, you're using way more than just one system at a time. And sometimes stacking up different systems is going to provide a bigger bang for your buck for your brainstem, and you may adapt to the training a bit faster, and neuroplasticity can really set in, and then you can go off and do the stuff that you enjoy doing versus being held back by some sort of pain, stiffness, or tightness, or another output signal that you're just not enjoying. So as I'm sitting nice and tall, maybe my alarm has gone off on my computer, it's telling me, hey, time to do some visual training, or you just all of a sudden remember, hey, I need to do a little bit of training of my eyes. I'm going to sit nice and tall, take the pen, outstretched straight arm. I'm going to look at the tip of the pen. I'm going to slowly, while breathing, bring the tip of my pen all the way to the ball of my nose, and then all the way back out. I'm going to ensure that I'm breathing as I pull in and breathing as I go out. For this one, I may be going to bring the tip of the pen to more of the bridge of my nose, so a little higher, almost to my eyebrows, and all the way out. Now, one thing that we want to practice as you're doing this, you don't want your target to double. So some people may pull, 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 pull. They may start to see a doubling effect, and that's where you're going to want to slowly push away. Okay? So this drill is called a pencil push-up. Your eyes are converging on the target as it comes close, and then diverging as it goes away. Okay? Another really fun drill that you can do right after doing that 3 or 4 times would be a vertical eye circle. Same body position, same action with the pen, although this time you're going to come in towards the nose, lift up towards the middle of the eyebrows, maybe the forehead, and slowly push away. So I guess it's not more of a circle, more of an oval. So you're coming in, going up, and pushing away. And of course you want to practice, 2 or 3 of those in one direction, maybe take a break for a couple moments, and go 2 or 3 in the other direction. Okay, so what's another drill you can do that's just going to take a couple of moments and you really don't need a lot of tools? something called a near far. So something where you're looking at something really close and then you're focusing something very far away. So I'll just look past my camera at something at the edge of my fancy garage that I'm doing this stuff in. I again take my pen all the way out. I'm going to focus on the tip of my pen. I'm going to bring it in somewhere between the tip of my nose and in between my eyebrows. And I'm going to stop when I feel comfortable. So this is going to be a point that everyone's going to need to figure out for themselves. Some people, they're going to have that pen all the way in. Some people, they may have that pen all the way further out. Doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you're confident that you can see your target. A little bit of fuzzy is okay, but maybe we don't want to do it if our vision is doubled. So we come all the way in, find the position that we like, make sure you're having a nice breath, and then I want you to change your vision from the pen to something far across the room, some target you can see and identify. Once you see it, you're right back to the tip of the pen. Once you see it, you're right back to that far. Near and far. We could also call these switches. You're going to go back and forth. Let's go 10 to 20 times. Take your time, go slow. Essentially, the speed at which you're going to go is how well you can identify your target up close and how well you can identify your target far away. Now, the time it takes to go from one target to another, technically, that's a time in which you are blind. And that is the time of the drill that we're trying to improve, okay? So whether you're doing some ball sport or you're doing you're cycling or you're running, trail running, driving, you need to be able to look at something and then look at something else, whether it's near each other, both things, or something close and something far. This one specifically is a near far drill, so we're working on convergence and divergence. A couple of really important rules: sitting tall, okay, breathing, and take your time. It's not about how fast you can do it. Remember, it's just where your ability is in that moment. And another thing that may sound a bit odd, I really want you to focus on this and make it your job to improve the function of your near to far. Okay, so what would be a fun protocol for something like this? I would say easily every hour, every 2 hours at maximum, you want to perform something like this. And it's only going to take about 2 minutes. So what do we have? We have a couple of pencil push-ups to the tip of the nose. We have a couple of pencil push-ups to between the eyebrows. Maybe we have a couple of circles going down to the nose, up, around and back, and then a couple of circles going the opposite direction. And then finally, pull it all the way in, find your sweet spot, and then send your focus near and far, near and far. That's it. Have some fun. Don't forget to breathe.